Once you're already setting up the general settings, you can go to Design Settings. Here you have the global settings for your training package. The first thing we have primary color scheme for your main colors, your text colors, important colors, and also other elements, as well as user-generated colors that you can select. If you want, you can have more different options for colors, as well as a specific color by code. When you choose that, it will become your generated color. Then you have the fonts which you want to use in the package, so you can set up from our library of fonts for a primary and secondary font, as well as user-generated set fonts that you would like. Next you have the font size for various devices in different resolutions, for example for desktop, tablet, and the two views, landscape and portrait, for the phone. Under that you have settings for editing of texts when the resolution is under 1920, or you can also select to edit the buttons under that same resolution when you want them to be more responsive. You can select if this will be active or inactive, and as you can see you have a text bubble which gives you further instruction. Next, we're going to have a look at the text element settings. Here you select what type of text you want to set up. For example, the titles, whether they should be centered, what color should they be, also what font size, background and transparency, the contour, and rounding of corners if that applies. For each of those tabs, you can clear the manually set styles for items of this type and revert them to the default settings. You can choose then the settings for your subtitle, warnings, paragraph text, clarifications, so that they can have a similar look or a specific look which you prefer. Then go to the next tab, Image Settings, where you have the background and transparency for your images, the contour of the element and rounding of the corners, the built-in elements for video and different other multimedia, as well as the graphic forms and shapes, how should they be loaded, in what color, filling, contour, background, as well as transparency at percentage, so that your training package could look the same way no matter which slide people use, and they will see the same global settings. Next we have the icons, the general settings for icons and contour and rounding the corners. And the last tab is about buttons. You have settings of primary custom buttons, as well as the setting for the standard outlook of the button when you hover above it and when it's active and selected. You can set up the text settings for the buttons, the transparency, and when you're ready, you can apply the changes